What is going on, Streamyard streamers? My name is Nick, and today we are going to be talking about how to get more views on your live streams. Because as a live streamer, I know that it can be difficult in terms of, getting that initial, people coming into your live streams. And of course, just increasing the amount of views that you are also getting on your live streams. So because of that, in today's live stream, I'm going to be taking you through the process and just sharing some ideas and taking you through the process of what it is that you need to do in order to get more views on your live streams. Now, as we are getting started in here, I'm just checking something really quick just to make sure that I have the stream settings correct here. As we are sliding into this so that I can make sure that the all the right boxes are checked, so to speak, while we are here live today. So this live stream, if you are, coming into this, let's say you happen to see this on your homepage or recommended next to another video, or let's say that you even came in here through YouTube search, this live stream today is for people that are live streaming either on a regular basis or a somewhat regular basis who want to get more views on what it is that they're doing when it comes to their live stream. So because of that, I just want to let you know that this stream is for you if you are a live streamer. Now, this stream, of course, because it's on the Streamyard channel, I also want to let you know that since this is on the Streamyard YouTube channel, I also want to let you know that if you have not tried Streamyard yet, you can try Streamyard for free at streamyard.com. And of course, there's a link directly below this live stream right now where you can also click on that in order to give it a shot. So with all of that out of the way, the very first thing that I want to talk about here today is actually doing research before you do your live stream. Because a lot of live streamers, they will take the approach of saying something like, this week's live stream, or, Tuesday live stream, or live stream on, whatever date that it happens to be at that particular point in time. So as a quick side tip, if you are adding dates to your live stream, stop, because that makes the replay not really that great in terms of as soon as you add a date to it, then you're adding like a timestamp essentially in terms of the title, right? For people coming into that or in the thumbnail. So a quick side tip, don't do that kind of stuff. People can see it when they actually click into it, but click into it so you have the opportunity to hook them and actually grab their attention first. But the very first thing, of course, like I mentioned before, is actually researching the topic of your live stream. And you're researching, when you are researching the topic of your live stream, the thing that you want to think about first is you want to think about, okay, what is it I'm actually talking about here in this live stream? And is there other people making content like this? Is there any way that I can frame this thing that I'm talking about around things that people might actively be looking for, around things that other people have made content about, to where maybe I can get suggested next to them, those sorts of things. So right out of the gate, somebody just give me a topic. Somebody that's hanging out in the chat right here. First off, really quick, your driver, Mike, what's going on? J-Vlog, nice to see you in here. Doug Houston, YT, what's up, my man? Payo Time, nice to see you in here as well. Walter's World, what's up, my dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic also. Everybody else, thank you for joining the stream today. I hope that you're doing great. So let me know what type of content that you make in the chat right now. And the reason that I'm asking you this is because I'm actually going to show you just a quick way that you can just do some very basic research to just make sure that what it is that you're doing is something that people are actively, looking for, right? So, okay, so we have baseball in here for the J-Vlog. So since we're going for baseball, then right up here at the very top, the first thing that I would do if I was going to be talking about baseball, to be honest, I actually wouldn't do it right here on YouTube. If I was talking about baseball, I would go to YouTube and I would check trends out I would go to trends.google.com on the research side, and I would start looking for things around baseball here. So right out of the gate, let me set the country correct since I'm currently in Thailand. Let me change this to the United States. And right out of the gate, I would look and I would see, hey, is there anything right out of the gate? So I'm not sure if Champions League is baseball or not, because I'm really not, a baseball person. But if Champions League is, then of course, anything related to that would be a great thing that you would want to make sure that you put in your title and in your description as well as part of your metadata. And the reason that you want to do that is because, and I'm not sure if Champions League is the thing, but I'm just kind of unpacking this idea really quick. The reason that you want to make sure that you are looking for these types of things is because if you do find out that, and again, I'm not sure if Champions League is a baseball thing or not, but I'm going to look for baseball right here in just a minute. I'll do it right now, actually, while we're talking about the other thing. But the idea is that you want to look here under YouTube search. If you're using Google for this, you want to look, into something recent. If you're looking for something that's been happening, over the last day, you can do that. Last few hours, you can do that. Past hour, you can do that as well. But for the sake of this exercise, just so we can have more data behind us, I'm just going to select 7 days. And what you can, or the reason that this is important is once we find some things here that people are, searching for online, the reason it's important to talk about those things topically, to add those things to your metadata, is because one of the things that helps YouTube suggest content next to other content on the platform is the relationship between the topics. So what that means is if somebody's watching a video on baseball, and you've also made it clear to YouTube that your live stream is going to be about baseball during the time that you're live, then the likelihood of them showing your content next to other baseball related content is going to be much higher. In addition to that, the way that YouTube works, they also look for things that people are watching. They look for things that people are not watching, the content that they're actually engaging with. And when you do a live stream on baseball, the people that are watching content already around the specific things that you're talking about, if they're a baseball enthusiast and YouTube detects that, then the likelihood of YouTube showing them your stream also increases. So because of that, it's really important to make sure that you're adding very specific things to your metadata in terms of your title and your description on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is I pulled up the stats here for the last 7 days on trends.google.com. And right here, I can see down here in the bottom, I can see that the U23 Baseball World Cup is a thing right now. It's had a 4,850% increase in the last 7 days. Of course, this might be something that you would need to isolate, down to the last, 48 hours, the last day, the last few hours, depending on when you're going live and what's going on at that moment around the thing that you talk about. But in addition to that, we also have Baseball World Cup. We see here that it has a 600%. Let me zoom this in real quick so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But we can see down here that, Baseball World Cup, the sports tournament, the 600% increase in people looking for that. The Baseball World Cup up here, a 4,800% increase. And then some very specific things as well. 50 Cent's baseball pitch, Conor McGregor, if he's doing something related to baseball, I guess he is. And then, you get multiple pages of things that people are looking for around what it is that you are, that you're talking about. So what you would do in this situation, if you're talking about baseball in general, like the J Vlog, then what you could do here is you could be like, okay, right now, there's a breakout of, Conor McGregor's baseball pitch. If you're into baseball so much that you're live streaming about it, you might even know about this already. Probably chances are that you do if it's a breakout topic, but you would come here and you would say, okay, if people are really interested in this Conor McGregor baseball pitch, then maybe I frame my live stream around that for the sake of bringing people in. Right. So it's like, hey, this is, Conor McGregor's baseball pitch, preview or a replay and, or Conor McGregor's baseball pitch. Let's talk about it. Or, something along those lines for your live stream title. And then what that does is that helps YouTube have context that this is something around the Conor McGregor baseball pitch. And then therefore, because of that, anybody that's been looking for anything related to something like that, you're increasing the likelihood of your stream showing up there as long as people start clicking on your stream when it is presented to them. But the same exact thing applies across all different content types. So the idea here on this side of things, and the reason I went to this one is because baseball, you definitely want to stay on top of the trending side of things with that. But you could also go for general topics if you wanted to. But if you really wanted to, give yourself the opportunity to really have a really strong live stream and get a lot of views on that live stream, then in this case, going for breakout topics is definitely something to consider. With this also, like I said before, you can take this all the way down to like the last 4 hours, right? All the way down to the last hour if you wanted to. But since you're talking about it, then like right here, we have like Baseball Bat Bros, 160% increase, 650 on Blippy Baseball, whatever that is, Baseball 9 video game. But you start to get the idea here in terms of the things that people are talking about. So here's another good one. Is right here, we see Chicago Cubs, Minnesota Twins, and Philadelphia Phillies are all breakout topics right now. I'm going to guess that that's around games that are either happening like right now or that are getting ready to happen or just happened. So because of that, these are also things to where you can be like, hey, these are very specific things that, that people are looking for topically. And these are the actual queries that people are putting in to find those types of things. So because of that, you want to make sure that you're using that type of thing for the type of content that you make before you actually do your live stream. Now, in addition to that, and I'm actually just going to do Conor McGregor in here. Let's see here, McGregor baseball. And we're just going to see what happens. And we're going to see like what's going on here. Okay. So he throws the worst first pitch. Okay. So like right here. Okay. So this happened a week ago then. So for that particular thing. So that shows you how out of the loop I am with baseball. That's what I get for not living in the States anymore. But anyway, like the thing here that happened 6 days ago. So that's probably a really bad example. However, you can see here in this situation, the thing from, 6 days ago, they ended up getting 38,000 views on that particular video. It's not a live stream, but it's a video. So if you were talking about this during that point in time and you noticed that it was taking off, then in that case, this would have given you a great opportunity to come in and talk about it, show replays of it, things like that, while people are, coming into your stream and, sharing their points of view on it and so on. But the same exact thing goes if you're doing, and we're just going to do, let's see here. Let me grab another one out of here as well. Harris, Square Table Degenerates. Nice to see you in here. Hope that you're doing fantastic. It's a European football competition. Okay. So let's see here. Look for soccer. Tolis, what's up, man? Hope that you're doing fantastic. But anyway, the idea is that, when you are, looking for this sort of thing, you want to make sure that you're doing the research. So if we do another one, I'm just going to scroll up here and look for, okay, so this is a really good one as well. Okay, for comedy skits. So comedy skits is video content, and the same concept would apply for video content as well. But what you would want to think about on the comedy skit side, and I'm just going to go into a few different ones here, just for the sake of, just showing, how this works across, a few different niches. But like in comedy skits, you can really tap into this. And the way that you tap into this is, for example, talking about, like that Conor McGregor situation, right? If that was like the worst pitch and people are already thinking that it's bad, then you making a funny skit about it and maybe just, showing some examples of just horrible pitches that you do, things like that, in your own comedic, funny way, could be a way to get people to actually come into your video content in that situation if you made videos about it. So, the idea though is with your comedy skits, going to trends and finding things that are on fire right now, right? Things that are trending right now and saying, okay, this is something that's really popular right now. So I'm going to make a skit on this and I'm going to get it out as fast as I possibly can. And by doing that, you're giving yourself the highest opportunity to hop in on something while the attention on that thing is extremely high. And in return, it can help bring a lot of attention to you, especially with comedy skits. And the reason that this really applies to comedy skits is because comedy is just like a broad audience thing. So if you're funny, then in that case, people across different, interests can relate to what it is that you're talking about. But the next thing, let's see here, we do travel. So when it comes to travel, being specific on travel would be good. But we'll just say, travel advice 2021, and we're just going to see what comes up here. So changing this to travel, then we see right here, travel advice 2021. We see, just some little different ideas, things that are coming out. We see 10 tips for how to travel in 2021, preparation during the travel pandemic. This has got 49,000 views on it. The channel itself, you would do a little bit of research here so that you can just get an idea. 940 subscribers. Okay. So they weren't able to push this like right out of the gate, right? So because of that, this did, well, 6 months ago. But this might be something that you would want to talk about, as people start getting more and more interested in travel, as things, open up more and more, around the world. So, doing like travel trips and being very specific for 2021 or after the pandemic, things like that would definitely be an approach to take to try to get you connected to some of these people that are also talking about, the similar things around travel as well. Let's see here. I'm not sure what that is, but gardening and homestead. So if we did something similar, let's try another method here. So another method, this one, for those of you that watch my content, this is you're familiar with this already. But for those of you that are not familiar with this is another tool that we use on YouTube. It's called Tubebuddy. And with Tubebuddy, you can try it out at tubebuddy.com. But basically with this, they have something called a keyword explorer. So here, it works kind of like the trends does, but in a different way. So like, for example, if we just put in baseball here, just for the sake of this, you can see how it automatically starts looking for things here, right? In terms of things that are high interest right now. So if we click on this one, we go to baseball highlights. Then one of the cool things that you can do here is inside of Tubebuddy, it'll actually tell you how good of a match this is for your channel, because you actually connect your YouTube channel to it on the back end. It gets an idea of the type of content that you put out, that sort of thing. So it actually tells you how good that topic is for your channel. But the thing that I want to bring your attention to, though, is the interest over time for the specific topics and these other ideas down here, in terms of other things that people might be looking for that are related to baseball highlights in this particular case, right? So if you were to live stream around something like this, baseball highlights, baseball highlights 2021, baseball highlights, around a specific game, something like that, then in that case, you're nailing baseball highlights, and you are giving yourself the opportunity to possibly show up next to content that's talking about baseball highlights or showing baseball highlights while you're live. And in addition to that, you're also giving yourself the opportunity, if you put the game, that actually went by that you're giving the highlights of, then in that case, that also gives you the opportunity to be able to possibly show up around the people that have shown interest in that particular game as well, which is also a win. So, when it comes to doing these type of things, it's really important to make sure that you do this research in order to, one, make sure that the thing you're going to be live streaming about, or how you're going to be framing your live stream, to make sure it's a popular enough topic, or to make sure that you just use the right words. That's ultimately what we're getting at here. To make sure that you just put the right words in your title and the right words in your description, and that topically you're talking about the right things that will help you get in front of more people by default, just based on how YouTube systems work. Now, what that is called is when YouTube shows your content to somebody in the platform, it's called an impression. And the idea is you make your live stream or your video content topically around things that people are proven to be interested in based on doing this type of research. And then when you do that, the next step in that process is, of course, you need to make sure that you're framing the title and the thumbnail in a way that will also cause those people that are interested in this to click on what it is that you're doing as well. Because if YouTube shows you, but you're not able to get people to click, then it's not going to do you a lot of good. But if you can, if YouTube's showing you to people that are interested in your topic and you can get them to click, then in that case, you're going to give yourself the opportunity to pull in a lot of viewers who are interested in that particular topic, or at least some viewers that are interested in that topic. And this works on the replay as well, by the way. So another cool thing about this particular tool is they also show you the things that people are looking for across Google as well. But the idea here is just whatever it is that you're talking about. If you're trying to hop on trends, then of course, doing all this stuff up to the minute using Google Trends is the right tool for that. But if you're like, hey, I just want to make sure that the thing that I'm talking about is that there's a high interest around the thing that I'm talking about, then in that case, you can use this for it, Tubebuddy. You can go to Google Trends and look for it. You can just look for just the general amount of things that people are looking for and get an idea. Like, for example, if we just start typing in baseball here, then YouTube is also going to start showing us, some things that people are typing into looking for it. So in this example, if we put an A, then it has, a bunch of listings there, put a B, a bunch of listings there, C, a bunch of listings there, D, and you just keep going through that process until you uncover something like, okay, this is in alignment with the things that I talk about and the thing that I might stream about. And this is also something that people are actually looking for. So because of that, I'm going to go for it. Now, we all know, like, as I'm going through these examples, we all know that baseball is a very wide thing, right? Like, tons of people are interested in baseball. And if you're just talking about baseball in general, right out of the gate, you're giving yourself that chance, right? So you're winning there. But this is more specific to people that are talking about more specific things, right? So like, for example, if you are another example of this, if you're doing interviews, let me take this approach with it. If you're doing interviews, let's say that you are interviewing somebody that is notable in some way. Let's say you get the opportunity to interview like Joe Rogan or somebody, or just anybody. Say you're interviewing anybody. One thing that a lot of live streamers will do, or just a lot of people in general, is they will frame the whole conversation around that person that they're talking about. And that can be advantageous. Like, if you have, if you're like, hey, this is the stream, this is the interview that I'm doing, and you frame the conversation around like, hey, this is the person that I'm interviewing, that's cool, right? Then that can get attention for the people that are interested in that person. But you're going to need a lot of people to be interested in that person in order for that to really make a strong impact for a lot of viewers in your stream. So because of that, it's a good idea to think, okay, is it possible that I know the types of things that we're going to be talking about during this? Because if I'm having this person come on my live stream, it's a really good chance they're coming on this live stream because they are knowledgeable about something or they have something very specific to share. So if that's the case, then instead of framing it around the person, let me think about the things that we're going to be talking about and frame the conversation around those things instead of framing it around the person. So find, the thing that person's known for or whatever, and frame the whole live stream around that value that person brings instead of framing the whole live stream around that person. Because when you do that, by making that small shift in your approach, you by default open up to a lot more people in terms of the topics that you're talking about versus the person that you're talking about. Now, on the extreme side of that, if it was somebody famous like Joe Rogan or something like that, then, sure, you might be able to pull some people in on that. But in most cases, going topically versus focusing on the person would be the win in that particular situation. So when you're doing these types of things, of course, you can use all the different tools for it. You can use, YouTube for it. But, at the very least, another thing that you can do on the research side is to simply go up to YouTube search and just type in, around the topics that you're talking about. Like in this case, I'm going to just put in travel 2021 COVID. And then, we'll see right here some of the other videos, that people have, put out about this. And when you are looking at that, just, look and be like, hey, a lot of people are interested in this. A lot of people are interested in this. And another thing that you can do here in terms of a tool side of YouTube is they also have where you can search, where you can adjust the filters in search. So here you can actually change this as well. So like, let's say, for example, you're like, okay, I'm going to be streaming this topic today. So let me click on today and see the stuff that's been uploaded today around this topic. So right now we can see that there's some of these other channels. Looks like some of these might be like news channels and stuff. But anyway, you can see that they're streaming like a whole press conference, around, the travel, with this or the actual cases for that. But you can see some of the stuff that's going on here to where you can see like, hey, out of the stuff that's been uploaded. And of course, this same exact concept goes across genres as well. But you can say, okay, out of all of this stuff that's been uploaded today, these are some of the things that are getting like crushed in views. And these are things that are not. So like here, we have 35 views on this one from an hour ago, right? So people don't really care about this framing. So because of that, for whatever it is that you're talking about, you'd want to come in and do something similar and just get an idea. Like, okay, people that are talking about this thing right now, how are people responding to what it is that they are doing before I, package the entire live stream or video content around that particular thing. The next thing that you can do, let me pull my notes up here really quick because they went away. There we go. The next thing that you can do in this situation is you can make sure that you're optimizing your live streams for social sharing. And here is what I mean by that is if we were to take this live stream right now, and we're just going to see how it goes because we're just going to do this here on the fly. If we were to take this live stream right now and we put it into developers.facebook.com/tools/debug, then what you're doing here is you paste your live stream URL in here. And just as a heads up, this works for websites. This works for individual YouTube videos. This works for your channel page, for everything. You want to optimize everything for social sharing. But if we look right here, if we click this, then one of the things that we're going to see here is that they show a snippet, right? So this snippet is so that when you ask your viewers to share out your live stream, so that if they share it out to Facebook, you can know ahead of time what people are going to see when it gets shared. So you can see here, it says Nick Nimmin shares 8 different ways to get more views on your YouTube live, right? So because of that, this is optimized to have a really strong statement right there in the beginning that's going to help on YouTube. But then if somebody shares this out on Facebook, this is also going to help in that situation as well. Oops, let me close this down really quick. There we go. But then that way you're optimized when people share your stuff out onto Facebook. And again, that's developers.facebook.com/tools/debug. The next thing that you want to do on the social sharing side is you do that same exact thing. Oops. You do that same exact thing at cards-dev.twitter.com/validator. And then with this, you do the same exact thing. And then when you hit preview card here, if you look over on this side, then it's going to show you what people are going to see when somebody shares it out onto Twitter as well. So here you can see it says Nick Nimmin shares 8 different ways to get more views on your YouTube live stream. 7 of these methods can be used by new stream, and then it cuts off there. But the important part, the thing that, would make somebody actually want to click on this is 8 ways to get more views on YouTube, right? And 8 ways to get more views on your YouTube live streams, right? So those things right there, when you are, when you're using these tools, this helps you optimize for social sharing as well. So that while you're live, right? If you're trying to get more people in there in your live streams, when you're asking people to share, you can make sure that your streams are optimized for this. And again, this is at cards. Here, I'll just actually paste it in the chat right here, and then I can put it on the screen, I think. Let's find out. Yeah. So this right here is where you go for that. I'm going to leave that on the screen here for just a minute for anybody that wants to, screen cap that on their replay or anything like that. And then when that one's finished, I'm going to put the one that I did before, the Facebook one, up here as well, which I'm going to do right now so that you can see that. And we're going to put that up here as well. So again, you can screenshot that, or, of course, you can just look at it and type it in. But this is where you get those particular tools in order to, be able to make sure that you are optimized for social sharing. So the next thing that you want to do is when it comes to, trying to get more views on your live streams, the next thing that you want to do is, I know that a lot of people use live streams by themselves to grow on YouTube, and it can be effective. However, when you start mixing in some video content, some short form video content, if your live streams are something that goes for, like, let's say an hour, like this stream today, it's probably going to be about an hour, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. If we get, into Q&A, if a lot of questions are coming in, it'll probably be a little bit more. But the idea is that when you're live streaming, if you're putting out content that's like an hour long or 45 minutes long or 3 hours long, like I do on my Saturday live streams, in that situation, what you have to make sure that you do is, or not have to, but what's a really good practice is that you also mix in video content that's shorter form so that it's more, I don't want to say appropriate because that's the wrong word, but it's less of a commitment when people actually click on it. If they see the timestamp, right? But if it shows up on a home page or recommended next to another video, if they see the timestamp, then in that case, you're kind of working against yourself, because for the people that know you already, for the people that already participate in your streams, they know your streams are awesome. For those people, it's not a big deal. But if you're actually trying to grow and you're trying to get more viewers to come into your live streams, then in that case, you want to make sure that you are mixing some short form content on your YouTube channel. It can be shorter live streams if you only want to do streams. But let's say you typically live stream for an hour, making some streams that are, 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long, to where as soon as the stream starts, you come in, you start delivering, whatever type of content it is that you offer, and then you shut the stream down after a shorter amount of time. Then what you're doing there is you're making content that is less of a commitment for a new viewer that doesn't know anything about you. So because of that, when you start making shorter form content to complement your longer form content, then that gives you the option, or the ability, I should say, to be able to pull in more people and get them familiar with you and what it is that you're doing and the value that you bring, so that they're more likely to participate in your longer form live streams as well. So you can take that approach in terms of uploading the videos directly that way. And, just uploading new video content. Or another option that you have is to take out highlights of your actual live stream itself. So I do this on a clips channel. So I made an entirely new YouTube channel to where I just upload clips over there. And then I also have the video content that I put up on my main channel. And then I do the live streams on my main channel as well. But over on the clips channel, the really cool thing that's happening over there is, in addition to the people that I send over there from my YouTube channel, in addition to that, I'm also getting new viewers over there that are just coming into that content for the first time. And some of those viewers are also, coming over to my main channel as well. So, because of that, I just want to stress the importance of that shorter form content, because if you can either take clips out of your pre-recorded live stream and just take the most interesting stuff and just drop it out so that people don't have to watch the entire long live stream in order to enjoy what it is that you're doing, then they can start to see the value that you're bringing to your live streams, or that you're bringing to your viewers with that, which will make them more likely to want to hang out in your live streams when you actually go live on your YouTube channel. But the idea is that you want to, bring them in and introduce yourself, essentially, with whatever short form content that you have, so that they'll want to, be more involved with what it is that you're doing on the short form side. But then some of those people also flow over and start coming in and hanging out in your longer form live streams as well. Let's see here. So I'm going to be doing a Q&A like at the end of this. We just got a few more of these to go through. But I'll be doing a Q&A. So if you do have questions, definitely hold them, and I'll answer, as many questions as we can get through once we are finished with the actual content of the stream today. Because I want to answer your questions as well, because that's always my favorite part of the streams. Because then in that particular case, I get to answer very specific things that are specific to you. So I get to add, for those of you that participate here, then I get to add that direct value to you versus the people that weren't able to join live. So because of that, if you have a question, please hang out, and I will answer that question here a little bit later in the stream. So the next thing is, if you are a newer content creator, I just put out a video about this on my YouTube channel, but if you're a newer content creator, YouTube just reduced the requirements of the community tab starting October 12th, 2021. Instead of having to have 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, YouTube is reducing the requirements down to 500 subscribers on your YouTube channel. And what the community tab is, let me go to my channel here really quick. What the community tab is the community tab is a place, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So the community tab, if you go to a YouTube channel, the community tab, if you click on it here, this is where you can make posts of other video content. You can add, just put questions in here. You can put polls in here, like all kinds of really cool stuff that you can do in the community feed. But one of the things that you can do here is you can see here, I post video content and that kind of stuff. But in addition to that, you can also post your live streams and let people know that you're going to be streaming, like, hey, we're streaming on this day at this time, so make sure that you join us. And in addition to scheduling your stream ahead of time on YouTube and people being able to prepare for it there, you also are sharing it in your community feed. So then people also have that additional awareness, because your community feed is going to reach some people just based on how YouTube works. It's unfortunate, but it's how it works, is that the community tab is going to reach different people. There's going to be some overlap, but your community tab is going to go in front of some different people that the actual scheduled live stream might not go in front of. So because of that, once you get that milestone, once you cross 500 subscribers, then you want to also start using your community feed so that you can start, letting people know that it's there. You can also make sure that if you do decide to do clips, you can also use this as a great way to let the people that are on your main channel know that either one, you have a clips channel, or two, that, hey, this is the stream, but hey, now I've got some highlights. I'm publishing some videos, coming up with the highlights, and you start letting your community know what's going on so they can start consuming that content. So again, for those people that don't want to participate in the live streams, you can get them on the short form content, and then hopefully some of those will end up, crossing over into viewing the longer form stuff. The longer form content, if we're going to be specific here. So the next thing as well is using a live stream trailer to pull in potential viewers, or to tell potential viewers about what it is that you're offering in your stream. Now, I have a video that I made for Streamyard that I will be uploading to them, I think tonight. I was going to do it like a couple of weeks ago, but I ended up just holding off on it. I'm going to be uploading that, I think, tonight to them, maybe tomorrow. But basically, it's actually showing you how to put a live stream trailer on your YouTube videos. But basically, when it comes to a live stream trailer, I'll show you just a quick preview of mine, so you can see, just an example of what you can do. And basically what the process is I schedule my live stream. And then when I schedule the live stream, then I'll have this trailer that plays before my live stream. So typically on YouTube, before this feature is available, if you're not using this now, what you're getting is you schedule your live stream, and then when somebody clicks on it, it's just a blank image, and maybe it's the thumbnail, and then they have a little option there to click on the reminder. With the trailer, you actually get to sell people on why they should come into your live streams, right? You get to pitch your live stream, essentially. So in addition to that, you get to pitch them with the video, and then they still have that button up there to click the reminder so they can be notified when you go live. So I'm going to play you my trailer really quick, just so you can see, an idea of, what you can do with a trailer. And my trailer, I made it just sitting right here in this environment. And then of course, I pulled it down, I recorded it in Streamyard, and then I pulled it down, and then I edited everything together. And if you're a Streamyard user, you can do the same, because Streamyard lets you record. You don't even have to be live. You can just record directly into Streamyard and then download the footage and then edit it, if you need to. But here's mine just to show you the example. What is going on, YouTuber? My name is Nick, and I want to encourage you to make sure that you click on the option to set the reminder for this live stream. And the reason that I want you to do that is because during the live streams, I talk about all of the different things related to being a YouTube content creator. I talk about how to get more views. I talk about how to get more subscribers. I talk about mindset in terms of, how do you avoid burning out on YouTube, that sort of thing. But basically, basically the live stream is driven by the questions that you and viewers like you ask during the stream. I encourage you to come by, hang out, participate this Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you there. What is going on? Oops. So you can see there, the whole thing is like, hey, for the people that are going to see this, that have never seen me before, that have never interacted with my channel before, for those people, right? They get to see like, hey, this is what's going on in this live stream. Like, hey, this is what I can expect if I hit this remind button, right? So the idea there is to essentially sell it on, sell the people that you're trying to bring in, speak their language in terms of the things that they care about, and then use that as a way to bring people into what it is that you're doing, or at least have more people actually, hit the reminder on your live stream. The next thing, of course, is to stream on a schedule. This one is huge. And it's really undervalued for bringing more people into your live streams, is if you simply stream on a schedule like clockwork, week in, week out, day in, day out, month in, month out, depending on how often you stream, then just that by itself can start bringing more people into what it is that you're doing. Because as long as you put on a good stream and as long as you, add value with what it is that you're doing, people are going to enjoy that. And they're going to start coming in and participating with your live streams on a regular basis because they enjoy the content that you put out. So like, to put this one into, perspective, like for example, when they go live here on the Streamyard channel, when they do their, the feature update streams that they do, when that happens, because they do those on a regular basis, those streams, a lot of people come in and they participate in there because they want to know what's going on. But they also come in because it's like, hey, I know that they're going to be talking about the updates. I'm a user, therefore I can show up and I can, stay up to date on everything that's happening with Streamyard. So, because of that, those streams typically get decent amounts of views on them. Same exact thing applies to you with whatever type of content that you make. If people know, hey, this person goes live every Monday, or this person goes live every Tuesday and Thursday, or this person goes live every Saturday, like in my case, then what happens over time as you grow your audience is your live stream will turn into a destination of sorts for some people. So because they just enjoy what it is that you do. So if you just stream sporadically, I encourage you to commit to a schedule and do it like clockwork for a long period of time. And by doing that, you're going to create that momentum, so to speak, of, getting regular viewers into your content on a regular basis because they enjoy what it is that you put out. So another thing that is also helpful is, of course, making your stream a show. And by making it a stream a show, what I mean by that is actually calling it something. Give it a name. Give your stream a name. Call it something. It can be anything, but you call it something so that you can start, creating your show as like its own brand of sorts. And by doing that, you make it more memorable. So instead of it being something like, oh, hey, Nick, does this stream on Saturday for YouTubers, you should come hang out. Instead of taking that approach, it's like, hey, you should check out Nimmin live, right? So it's easier to tell people about. It's easier for you to tell people about. It's easy for people to recognize when you have that, branded logo on your thumbnails, things like that. So, when you make your stream a show, it becomes more memorable. If you put this into old school TV perspective, like they don't have like shows to where it's just kind of like, oh, hey, here's today's stream of September 28th or whatever today is, right? News kind of does that, but even news is wrapped around something, right? They hook you in with, in today's show, we're going to be talking, they still call it a show, but today's show, we're going to be talking about, things that you need to do that will, help you with your health. And the worst parts we're going to tell you about last. So make sure you stick around. They'll do things like that. Right. But the idea is to make it a show just so it's easy for people to remember, easy for people to tell people about. And it's also cool because, with that, you can also, create your own logos for it and build your own brand around your show. So you have your main brand that you're building, but then, your show is kind of like a side brand that goes along with your main brand. So, I recommend that as well. But in addition to that, because I said, in the description of this stream today, that 7 of these are for, people that are just getting started, and for people that are experienced, but, these first 7, anybody can do. This next one, you need to have 10,000 subscribers for it. But a lot of YouTube content creators don't know that if you have 10,000 subscribers or more, then you have the stories feature. And if you have the stories feature, you can share content in your stories feature. So for example, this particular one, I got to turn my phone down to make sure. I'm just going to show you here on screen so you can see what I mean. But when it comes to stories on YouTube, this is clickable right here. So you can see that arrow pointing down to that particular video. It's clickable. So you can do that same exact thing for your live streams, live stream replays, to where you actually share it in there. Keep in mind, you get 1 share per 7 days. So you have to use that strategically. If you're streaming every day, then you're not going to be able to use that one. But if you stream like once a week or once a month, something like that, then you can use your story as a promotional thing that will help your stream get out in front of more people as well. Because the idea, if you have people interacting with your YouTube channel in any capacity, the idea is simply just to spread awareness about what it is that you're doing, right? So you can do that in your video content as well, to where you can say, oh, hey, by the way, we stream every, Friday or whatever it happens to be, come and hang out. But keep in mind, you got to be really careful with this, because you don't want to do that at the expense of your retention on your video. You want to get people to your end screen so they'll click and watch another video. So, doing that graphically, might be a better idea than actually saying it. But if you can find, with the type of content that you make, because it's different for everybody, but if you can find, specific places in your content to where maybe you're doing something else, right? So let's say that if I was reviewing coffee cups, and then in my video I was like, hey, let's check out this other coffee cup, and I'm going to grab this really quick. But while I'm grabbing this, I do want to let you know, I have a live stream where I actually break coffee cups every Sunday. So, make sure that you hang out with, make sure you come check that out. I got information about that in the description. But anyway, this coffee cup, blah, 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 right? So that's the idea. But you want to do things like that in passing, so it's not intrusive into your content. That's the idea. So in terms of the questions, if you have a question about, using these types of things to get more views on your live streams, you have a question about anything related to YouTube. YouTube is my wheelhouse. It's a thing that I'm passionate about, a thing that I love. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask your question now, but just make sure that you put a Q in front of it so that I know that your question is for me. And as these are coming in, I'm just going to go through them as I see them pop up here. And I'm just going to start clicking them, clicking and answering them, so that we can make sure that, that we get your questions taken care of. So just make sure that you put a Q in front of it so that I know that your question is for me. And while we're talking about that, another thing as well, while we're waiting for the questions to come in, another thing that is important when it comes to getting views in your live stream is also make sure that you are, putting effort into what it is that you're doing in terms of making sure that your audio, you don't have to spend tons of money on this stuff, but just making sure that your audio is acceptable, making sure that, the video quality is acceptable, that you have enough light. You don't have to have like high-end cameras, but you do need to have enough lighting to where people can see, what it is that you're talking about. They can see you if you're on stream, but you want to make sure that there's at least enough light to where what it is that they're looking at is clearly visible, right? If you can do that and you can make it sound, halfway decent, at least something that's competitive for the platform, then in that case, that by itself can also help people as they come into your stream. When YouTube is showing your content, all over the platform, then that gives you that opportunity to where you can, impress people essentially once they come in, with letting them know like, hey, there's good production value behind this, as well as the information or the things that I'm going to be sharing with you on this stream. So let's see here. What would you do if you're stuck in a tree? Well, if I was stuck, then in that case, hopefully I'd have my phone in my pocket. Maybe I could reach in my pocket and maybe call a fire department in that case. If I was stuck in a tree, then maybe I would also yell for help. I don't know if that tree is in a city, if it's out in the middle of nowhere, I'm not sure, but that's what I would do there. Fun question. Thank you. The next one here is, which is more important, thumbnail or your title? They're both important. So is your topic. And the reason that it's all important is because, your topic, your title, and your thumbnail, we call it the packaging. Your topic, title, and thumbnail, they're the packaging of your video. And your topic, title, and thumbnail, they create an expectation of what somebody's going to get on the inside. So because of that, you have to make sure that your thumbnail is something that grabs their attention. You have to make sure that your title helps pull them over the edge. So the idea is you want to use imagery in your thumbnails that helps people identify that the content you're making is something that they care about. So if we were to just say, hey, you have to take away everything, but there's one thing that you could use on the platform and everything else was gone, and you had to rank it in order of importance from there, I would say the thumbnail. Because with the thumbnail, of course, you can have the imagery in there and you can add text to it if you need to. Whereas if if you didn't have the thumbnail and you just had the titles, then you're looking at Google in that situation, right? Where you're just seeing all the text all over the place. So because of that, for YouTube, I would say that the thumbnail is most important, but your title can destroy your thumbnail, your click-through rate. If your title doesn't nail it and your thumbnail doesn't nail it, then it'll destroy the whole thing. And if it's about a bad topic that nobody's interested in, then that can break the whole thing too. That's why I said at the beginning of this stream, and if you weren't watching that, then make sure that you go and check that out, on the replay once this is complete. But that's why I said at the beginning of the stream, to get more views, it's really important to make sure you do some research before you go live instead of just going live. How many gamers do we have here? How many gamers do we have in the stream right now? If you're a gamer, just say me, just because I have some, I'll give you some something specific to you as well if you are a gamer in here. But actually, I'll just tell you anyway. So like, let's say, for example, like there's an update with the game. Always stream when there's an update with the game, if possible, because, at that point in time, everybody that's interested in that game, they're hitting the internet, they're looking for information on that game, they're looking to see gameplays. Like, for example, my girlfriend and I, we play Fortnite on a regular basis, pretty much every night, not every night, but pretty close. So because of that, when we are playing, if there's an update, like while it's sitting there updating, I'm like on my phone. I'm like watching live streamers. I'm like, I'm like seeing what's going on so I can know what to expect when the game starts. If I'm not going to have a chance to play that night or until later that night, after an update, then I'll hit some YouTube videos. I'll kind of watch them on the side while I'm working or something, or I'll just I'll slack and I'll turn and watch those. But basically the idea is that, at that point of heightened interest, right? You want to make sure that you're streaming. In addition to that, you also want to think about, instead of just doing like Fortnite Let's Play, make it interesting, right? So instead of like Fortnite Let's Play, for those of you that are gamers, which I didn't get any responses for gamers, so we might not have any in here, but just in case, if you are a gamer, you also want to think about it from the perspective of, okay, Fortnite Let's Play. So there's going to be a million people that are making that title. So what if I did, beating Fortnite with one gun? Then all of a sudden your live stream just got really interesting, because then in that particular case, you're like, hey, I'm going to play the game topically, right? Coming into this, I'm going to just keep playing the game, and I'm just going to pick the first gun that I land on, right? So I'm going to land on a rooftop, break through the rooftop, grab whatever it is there, and that's going to be the thing that I'm going to try to win the game with, right? So just making your titles around things that are a little bit more compelling that way is really beneficial. Just putting a short about your previous video messed with the algorithm for previous video. No, it's not. Like, each video stands on its own legs. However, some content can step on each other. So, for example, you might see that if you publish a video today, and then you publish a video tomorrow, if you go and you look at the real-time stats on the video that you published yesterday, you might see that as soon as you publish the current video or the one that you're publishing today, you might see that the real-time view counts drops a little bit on your the video that you published yesterday, while that new piece of content goes into promotion on YouTube while they're trying to figure out where it goes. That doesn't mean that it's going to stop on your other one, but in some cases, some content can step on top of other content. So because of that, the practice that I tell people to take is do a YouTube action or a couple of YouTube actions per day. So if you're doing stories, no big deal there, right? That doesn't interfere with anything. If you're doing community posts, you can compete with yourself. So because of that, like if we look at my screen right now, and I'll just show you this in a real life example. So when you're doing community posts, you can see here, latest YouTube post. We see Nate from Channel Makers has a post here, and we got Nathan James Larson, who makes content around like Logic Pro. Both of these guys have community posts on here. Now, right here, this is a great example because we have Nate on here with a video too. So right here, we have this video from Nate, which is an awesome YouTube channel, by the way. He also does YouTube help content. You should definitely check him out. He has some really cool stuff over there. But he has this post right here, and he has this post right here. So because of that, if I'm on this home page, if I see this one first as I'm scrolling down, because right now this post, because it's fully on screen, this is counting as an impression. So is this video. So because of that, if I click on this and I don't engage with this, then the engagement for this goes down. If I engage with this, but I don't click on this, then his click-through rate on this goes down. So because of that, when you are, putting out community posts plus videos, then you are, competing with yourself on the homepage. So you just want to make sure that you're being intentional about when you are putting out content. So what I recommend is that if you do a piece of video content, and then you want to do a short, but give yourself about 24 hours to kind of let that one piece breathe. Now you can go all in and just publish like crazy. And when you do that, YouTube, will show your content, to the people. It'll test it on the platform. But when you're doing that, just keep in mind, it can step on some of the other content, if it's topically similar and things like that. Let's see here. Why is it that some comments we can't view on our videos? It's because they go into the, like, if somebody has blocked words list, or if you have a blocked words list, which means that you are, remove this here, which means that you have put very specific words in your YouTube settings that when somebody says those words, that it automatically holds them for review, then in that case, they're not publicly on your YouTube, your video watch page. They are in your held for review. Same exact thing goes if some of the comments auto trigger there in terms of, let's say somebody goes around YouTube and every video they watch, they say, this is a great video, thanks. And it's like everything about it's the same. Over a period of time, YouTube's going to detect that, hey, this is the same exact comment all over the place. And in some cases, it can actually start hiding that user's comments because they always say the same exact thing, which is typical of bots as well. So because of that, you want to make sure that you are looking in your blocked words list to make sure that you don't have anything in there that might be causing other people's comments to get to be hidden that you don't want to be hidden, because the nuance in there matters. Context can matter sometimes. So because of that, you just want to make sure that you're looking in there to make sure that that's not happening. But if you don't see a comment on your video watch page, but that comment's there, go into your held for review and you should see it in there. Let's see here. Excuse me. So let's see here. I am Friday Night Variety Show, Wayne's World style. And it's all about celebrity guests and fun randomness. But man, suggested videos just doesn't show the videos. How to get more growth that way. So on YouTube, and this is a great question. So on YouTube, everything is based on performance. So the reason that you're not getting love, so to speak, in suggested videos is because people don't respond to you there. So what you have to start thinking about is you have to start thinking about how you're packaging up your content so that you can get that response there. So the idea is that when you are putting your thumbnail and title together, you want to make sure, one, that you're looking at it small. Two, you want to make sure that the things that are, and the reason you want to look at it small is because in suggested videos and different features for desktop users and in some places on mobile devices as well, the thumbnail will show up really small. And in addition to that, the text in your title can also get truncated or cut off in certain features on YouTube as well. So because of that, you want to make sure, and here I'll show you that example right here. Just to give you some, just a real life example of this, you can see right here in this particular title, it says documenting my journey from fat to fit, 6 months countdown to lose. And then you see the ... right? That ... there means it's cut off. And you can see here when I hover over this, you don't see the hover, but it says to lose 40 pounds by my 40th birthday. This is from my buddy Alicio. But basically the thing is you want to make sure that your content is optimized for everywhere on the platform, including suggested. So topically, it's got to be good. In terms of doing the research ahead of time, like we were talking about before, you need to make sure that your thumbnail, that whatever it is that you're trying to grab the viewer's attention with, the thing that they would be interested in, be it a particular celebrity or a group of celebrities or whatever it is, the topic that you're talking about, you want to make sure that that is really crystal clear and easy to see if the thumbnail is scaled down. In addition to that, the thing that is going to be the most important to the viewer that you're trying to reach, make sure that that's within the first 51 characters of your title, because YouTube cuts off titles. So if you do those two things, then just by default, you'll start getting a better response from suggested videos, because people are going to be able to understand easier what's going on with your content when it does get suggested to them next to other content. So that's what you want to think about. Other things that you can see as well is if you go into your traffic sources in YouTube, you can also see, like, okay, from suggested videos, like how do people respond in terms of your click-through rate. You can also see how they respond in terms of watch time. So if you notice that you're not getting a lot of watch time from suggested, or you're not getting, that many clicks, that's going to tell you like what it is you got to fix. So for example, if you find that your click-through rate is low compared to the amount of impressions that you're getting, then in that case, it's like, okay, it is my packaging. So I'm going to make sure that I make that clear. But if you do find that, hey, my click-through rate is actually decent, but when people come over here, they're not watching for that long of a time, then in that case, if the content itself, the actual video or live streaming content, if it's just not holding their attention from that particular traffic source, then in that case, the show itself could be the thing that's hurting it from getting more suggested views, because maybe the homepage people that are clicking on it, maybe those people are responding to it better than the people that are clicking on it from suggested in terms of the actual watch time that you're getting from it as well. Let's see here. So, hey, Nick, while streaming in Streamyard, can my audience use Super Chat? Absolutely, they can. So on my live stream, so every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, I do a live stream on my main YouTube channel. It's called Nimmin Live. And during that live stream, I've been using Streamyard for a long time. And when I use Streamyard, I still have Super Chats come in. I can still get channel memberships. Like, you can still get all the stuff. But the only difference is you are just streaming through StreamYard instead of, using another software or streaming directly to YouTube. So Football Fan Zone says, should your thumbnail include words in the title? So it can. It depends on what you're making. So in some cases, you can just get away with imagery by itself. In other cases, having that text in your thumbnail can help support the idea that you're talking about. So for example, if we take this live stream right here. So with the thumbnail that I put here, I did more live stream views. And you can see I just focused on 3 words there, more live stream views, right? And the idea is I put a focus on more, and here, I've got it on my screen here. I'll show you. But I put a focus just so you can see the thought behind it. So here I put a focus on, more views, right? So even at a small size that, people, since I'm talking about YouTube here, so that people that are interested in YouTube and trying to get more views on whatever it is that they're doing, then that more views will stand out even at a small size. But then I have more live stream views so that, for those that get to see it bigger, then in that case, they can see that it's specific to live streamers. But the idea though, is even though I put more live stream views here on the thumbnail, I could have just put like a stat or, something like that. But in this particular case, I think that, having the text on the thumbnail was a better call here for the sake of when it goes down to a small size. Because if it's at a small size, and we'll just keep making this small about suggested video size here, if this just had a bunch of stats on it, then it would be really hard to understand like what's going on here, right? So that's the idea of having that big bold text and only focusing on a few words. Paul Peck, Drywall Tube. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great. Do YouTube lives rank in search? I've been told yes and no. Let's find out. Let's see. They do, but I'm just seeing if this one is showing up. Get more views on YouTube live stream. Let's do live stream singular and just see if anything pops up. Boom, right here. So I'm live. So you can check that on your end and see if it comes up here as well. But typically, when it comes to live stream rankings, if you optimize the video properly, then it should show up before you're even live in YouTube search somewhere. But once you're live, just as a heads up on how it all works, once you're live, YouTube like prioritizes that live stream because it's a live event. So since it's a live event, then of course the most value from that particular thing that's happening on YouTube is when it's live. So because of that, it's getting shown a lot more on the platform than a piece of content might typically, because it's live right now. So because of that, they can show up in search, while you're live or even before you're live. I've got screenshots and documentation of scheduling live streams like days ahead and ranking like right away, sharing live streams, hours ahead and ranking right away, ranking in Google search as well as YouTube search for a scheduled live stream. So, you can absolutely show up, in different places. I'm actually just going to search Google here really quick as well. I'm going to see if it pops up here under any videos just out of curiosity. No, it doesn't look like it's showing up here. But yeah, I just wanted to see. I was like, yeah, maybe this crosses over to Google as well. But yeah, it doesn't look like. Oh no, it is. So right here. So I just went to Google. I put in get more views on YouTube live stream. Right. I went over to the video tab because it's not showing up here. Right. It's not showing up in this top moment right here. But if I go into the videos tab and I scroll down a little bit, then you can see right here, boom, 8 ways to get more views on YouTube live streams. So it shows up. So this one's showing up in Google as well. So hopefully that answers your question. Like not only does it show up in YouTube search, but it can also show up in Google search as well. So these types of things, like let's say, for example, just to give some additional context here, because it's important, like, let's say, for example, if this stream had like 5,000 people in it, it'd probably be in the very top of Google, and it would be in the top result there in YouTube search as well. If this stream had 5,000 viewers in it, then this thing would be, getting pushed all over YouTube, because like that proof would be there if people come in here and like really, this being something of mass appeal. And, because there's a lot of people interacting with it, then of course YouTube would be showing it, trying to get more people in here as well. But in terms of live streams ranking, we've only got 55 viewers in here right now. And it's showing up in YouTube search, and it's showing up in Google search as well. So here, might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. Come on, jump. Go ahead and jump. Yep, singing some Van Halen songs I'm talking about. Thanks, soy brother Nick. Help us grow these first 3 weeks on the road to 500 subs. High five, fist bump to you. Nice work on approaching that milestone. So here, which Stream Deck ATEM works best with StreamYard? So the ATEM and Stream Deck are two different things. So when it comes to the Stream Deck, that is this, right? And the Stream Deck is made for like macros and things like that, to where you can do additional things. So like, for example, if you look at this projector that's behind me, this is happening from another computer that's sitting across the room that I'm running this other little Stream Deck right here through. And because of that, I can click on the thing in the background, and I can change through my Stream Deck. I can change what you see here in the background. Now we're flying through space. I can, add little calls to action here, that will show up here behind me, because it's a projector, right? But basically you can use the Stream Deck in that way. When it comes to the ATEM, it's a totally different thing. With the ATEM, it's actually a switcher. So with the ATEM, the difference is that you have 4 buttons or 4 different cameras that you can just bring into this via HDMI, but this box plugs into your computer through one USB. So because of that, you plug it in and it works just like a webcam does, or it reads it like it's a webcam, and then you can actually use the buttons on it. You can press them to switch between, the different cameras, or you can set it up like I have, to where I'm not touching anything right now with my feet or my hands. You can't see my feet, but with my feet or my hands. But because of the software that comes with this ATEM, and because of the macros that I've preset with the software, I'm not touching anything, and it's automatically switching based on the parameters that I've already set up prior to the stream. So what I've done is I basically went through a process of setting up different programming for it, and I do it to where it switches between different cameras for different amounts of time and things like that through a handful of different loops. And then I just run that particular macro on a loop, and I use this for this stream. I use it for my stream on my main channel, and any live streams that I do anywhere, I have that one macro that I use, and it switches between all of my cameras. So hopefully that answered that for you. So here, we produce more than 500 plus videos on YouTube as a media network. We are not able to get good viewers and monetize the content. What is your suggestion? Look at the content. One, if you're not able to monetize it, then that means maybe you have kind of blasted YouTube with what it is that you're doing. And they're like, or one, you could have just mass uploaded content that is like, remixed content of, something that somebody else has made. If you have the license to it, then that would be different. But if it's, content that is, somewhere else, and then you've made like little clips and things like that of, someone else's content, then that can stop you from getting monetized in some situations. In terms of not able to get good views, comes down to your thumbnails, your titles, the actual topic or the framing, around your video. And then of course, once people actually click on your thumbnail and title, like what happens then? So if people click on it and then they leave right away, then YouTube's not going to keep showing that content to people for very long as that keeps happening, because it's a low performing piece of content in terms of how the users of the platform are interacting with it. If people click on it and they watch it for a fair amount of time, they give it thumbs up, they comment, they subscribe to your channel, they do all the things, then in that case, that's a really positive signal for YouTube. And if that keeps happening, then YouTube's going to keep showing it to more and more people until that happens less and less. So the idea is, if you're not getting any traction on your YouTube channel, bulk uploading isn't going to fix it. It comes down to how you're getting people to click in terms of your topic, title, and thumbnail. And then it comes down to how you're putting the content together in terms of, the experience that people have once they actually click on what it is that you're making. Where exactly do you put the commercial for the stream? So I have a video that's going to be published soon on the Streamyard channel about that. But all you have to do is, once you schedule your live stream in Streamyard, if you're a Streamyard user, here, I'll actually show you. I can't do it. Let me see if I can actually do it while we're streaming here. I'm not actually going to add it, but I might be able to show you where to do it. Give me 1 second here to go into the back end of this. And then I'll show you where to add that. I think I might be able to do it while we're live. If I can navigate to it, then I'll show you here. So let's see here. So I'm just going to share the screen, and then we're just going to see kind of what happens here. So I'm going to click into the live stream. And then what you want to do is, over here on the right-hand side, you want to click into Edit. Once you are in Edit, you're going to see Customization. once you're in customization, you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and you're going to see trailer. Right there, you just click add trailer, and then you can pick the video on your channel that would represent the trailer. Now, another thing to think about as well is when you are doing this, you want to make sure that when you add that trailer, that before you try to add it, go ahead and make the trailer first. And this is really important. Make the trailer first, and make it, relatively short. But once you make that trailer, upload it to YouTube, but upload it unlisted. The reason that you want to upload it unlisted is because that will allow you to use it as a trailer, but it does not publish the video publicly on your YouTube channel. It's a trailer. It's not a piece of video content that is meant for your channel, that's meant for your audience. So because of that, make sure that you upload it as unlisted instead of uploading it as a normal piece of content. Make sure that you also write a title for it that makes sense because, in that particular case, if somebody ends up actually clicking through or something like that, and if they see the title, just make sure it makes sense for what it is that you're doing for your stream, or at least call it, you like your channel name, live stream trailer or something like that. But just the important part of this is just making sure that you upload it unlisted so that you can still find it when you look for it. Or just when you actually click on that add button, it'll show videos. Another quick tip, if it shows the videos and it doesn't show your trailer that you uploaded, then in that case, you want to make sure that you just search for the name of your trailer and then it'll come up there. Because I've noticed that happen a few times as well. Let's see here. So next up, we have, you want to set up your lives as much replay as possible for the 4K watch hours needed. Totally. Yeah, you want to set it up like if you're trying to get monetized. How many people here are trying to get into the YouTube Partner Program? If that's you, just say me. If you're trying to get into the YouTube Partner Program. But basically, if you're trying to get into the YouTube Partner Program, every minute of watch time that you can get is super important. So because of that, you want to make sure that one, when you go live, that you're not using any type of like countdowns or anything like that before your stream starts. Or if you are using a countdown timer before your stream starts, go in and cut it off. If you're live streaming to Facebook, and I saw somebody in the Streamyard community forum on Facebook, make sure that you're a part of that, by the way, if you're a Streamyard user. But somebody was talking about the countdown timers and how it relates to YouTube and Facebook. And for them, they were saying that, having that on Facebook makes tons of sense, but on YouTube, they understand that it doesn't. So because of that, they weren't sure what to do on YouTube. If you do use a timer, then in that case, one thing that you can do is that you can go in after your stream is complete, make your live stream more replay friendly by cutting that trailer off in the YouTube editor. So inside of your creator studio, as a YouTuber, you actually have access to their built-in editor, and then you can go and you can cut that that countdown timer off. How much coffee do you have before stream? Now we're getting to the good stuff. Okay, so in terms of coffee before streams, I'll usually have a few sips, but I'll get the coffee ready. But thanks for asking, reminding me to take a drink of it actually. But usually I don't finish it before the stream's over, and it's usually cold by the time I'm a little bit in the stream. Like right now, we've been on here for an hour and 7 minutes, and my coffee's cold. But I'm not gonna kid me. I'm not gonna throw away good coffee. You nuts? Still gonna drink it. But definitely would have been, I should get a warmer. Just thought of something. I should get a warmer up here for the coffee. Okay. Looking for collaboration. What's the best way to leverage a video streaming collaboration? Would that count as, yeah. So you do not, under any circumstance, want to live stream to multiple YouTube channels at one time. That's duplicate content, and you can lose both channels over that because it's essentially spamming the platform with the same content. That's the idea. So you do not want to do that under any circumstance. What you want to do if you're going to be live streaming it is have the person come onto your stream as a guest. And then after that, say, hey, we're going to continue this conversation over on their channel. So have them be like, hey, I'm going to go over, hey, I'll talk to you later. Thanks. They go over and they get their stream ready, or they have it ready already, and you guys can just send links back and forth. But then you just jump off of yours and then jump onto theirs. Make sure you have links going into your comment section, let people know like, hey, we're going live over here. And then you try to get people to jump over there that way. Let's see here. What do you think is the best way for a new streamer to learn how to highlight clips off of live streams? It always seems like there's lagging or issues. Yeah, so if you are trying to highlight clips off of your streams, if you're a Streamyard user, Streamyard actually records your live streams. Like right now, Streamyard is recording this. And as soon as the stream is over, if I wanted to, I can go in and I can just download it. I can download it. I can cut clips out of it. I can do whatever I want. So because of that, if you're not a Streamyard user, you might want to be, even if you are live streaming through like OBS or something like that, you can still use a virtual camera, port it through StreamYard, let StreamYard record it for you so that everything's like synced up and all that. And you can just download it directly out of there from the cloud instead of having to have it record directly to your computer and have your computer working double time because you're using heavy software that requires a strong computer. And then you're also making that software record or your computer record as well. So, you know, because of that, you can definitely make sure that you do that. Let's see. If not, inside of your YouTube channel, you also have the option to download your content as well. So you can go in there, you can download it. And then in that case, you just open up your editing software and then you just have to move things around when it comes to the actual sync. Let's see here. So as we keep on going down through the list, I'm just looking to see if anybody has any additional questions. Should we only live stream exclusively on YouTube and on Facebook and LinkedIn? You can multicast. You can absolutely multicast to different platforms. It's just what you don't want to do is multicast the same stream to multiple YouTube channels. You definitely do not want to do that. Yes. So I want to do a live stream. How do I even begin? Is there a place to learn step by step? Absolutely. On my YouTube channel, I have videos about how to go live on YouTube. I have videos about how to go live on YouTube using StreamYard specifically. There's tons of content here on the Streamyard YouTube channel about how to live stream. So there's tons of information for you. If you just look around YouTube for how to live stream, or if you just look on the Streamyard YouTube channel or mine, you'll run across tons of information on live streaming. Would I promote my crypto channel on my personal Facebook? I just don't know that my friends are interested in my topic. I wouldn't. Like when you're sharing your content, what you want to do, I mean, people are going to share your content anyway, right? So like if I watch your video, I'm like, hey, this is great content. I might share it to my friends on Facebook, or I might share it out on Twitter. And that might not necessarily be the perfect audience for you. However, if you are sharing it, then you should be more strategic with it. And you should think to yourself, okay, the place where I'm going to be sharing this, be it a group on Facebook, be it a subreddit somewhere, be it, you know, a forum about crypto, like whatever the thing is, wherever you're sharing it, just think to yourself, would the people in this particular group, based on what we're proving that they're interested in by participating in this, you know, area of this particular website, you know, based on the topic, would these people be a really good candidate for what it is that I have? Like if my content were to show up on a homepage based on the, you know, interest that these particular people have in this group, would those people be likely to actually click on my content and watch it legitimately? If the answer is yes, then it's a great place to share the content. If the answer is no, then in that case, it's not a good place to share the content. So one thing that you can do as well, and I'll show you this really quick on my clips channel. I'll just show you just a really quick example so you can see this in real life here. So, and let me actually go into it here just so I can show you exactly what's going on. But here, I'll just do like a random piece of content. And this applies to live streams as well. But I'm just going to pick just a random video here and we'll see what's up. So for this particular video, and I'm just going to click into here. For this particular video, I'm going to go up into advanced mode, right? So I'm going to click into the content, and then I'm going to go up into advanced mode. So what you want to do when you're sharing things out is you want to do this. So from here, I want to click into traffic source. And then from traffic source, you'll see that if I come down here, I can see external. So before I click on this, I do want to let you know if you're following these same steps to see what I'm getting ready to show you, if you don't see these as blue clickable items, then there's a really good chance that your date range is set to since published. See how they're not clickable here? So what you want to do is you want to change since published down to a specific date range or to since uploaded. So in my case, I'm just going to hit since uploaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here into external. Once I'm in external, then you get to see additional information. So one of the things that I can see here, and this is a really bad example because this particular one only has like one view coming from Facebook. But one thing that I can see here is that the people that came into this particular video from Facebook, that one person that came in, they actually just left right away. Actually, it's saying here that the watch out because hours. Okay. But basically right here, they show the average view duration for that person is 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Google search, I'm getting like 1 minute and 58 seconds from them. From this particular website, I'm getting 1 minute and 13 seconds from them. But what you can do here in this situation is you can say, excuse me. So for when my content shared out on Facebook or when I share it into groups on Facebook, what type of, watch time am I getting from those people? How long are they actually sticking in the video? Are they helping me or are they hurting me? If they're watching the whole video or a large percentage of your video, they're helping you. If they're not, then they're hurting you. So because of that, just consider that when it comes to, the specific places that you're sharing it. Brandy Beaver, I hope that you are also having an awesome day. Paul Peck, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing awesome. So let's see here. I'm still going through these questions. I just jumped down to the bottom of the list here. And says, what's the quality of the downloaded StreamYard content? You can look on my clips channel. If you go to youtube.com/Nimmin extra, then you'll see the live streams there. Some are better quality than others because some I actually downloaded before StreamYard even had the HD feature, but now they have the HD feature, so they're coming out a lot more crisp now. But it does process them a little bit, right? Because you're actually getting the streamed version, not the raw version. So it definitely does process them, but it's an acceptable quality. Is it better to edit the live stream and upload the new video instead of letting the live stream public for people who want to watch it later? That's kind of like a yes and no type of thing, because if you do leave it public on the channel, then the link still works. So if you shared it out on the social media and things like that, then in that particular case, people can still click on that and they can come in and see it. If you upload a new piece of content, like if you download it, unlist it, and then you actually download that stream, you edit it up a little bit, maybe put a bumper on the front or something, just so it's a little bit of a different piece of content, and then you upload that to where it's public, and then your main live stream is private, then in that case, notifications would go out for it. You get the opportunity to kind of repackage the thumbnail, maybe go through and edit, tighten things up a little bit to make it just a little bit more of a smoother stream. Then in that case, it would be a better experience for the viewer as a piece of re-uploaded content. So because of that, just thinking through like, hey, if I go and I take this down and then I just kind of, edit out the stuff that doesn't matter, or I just make this just a tighter piece of actual video content, you can totally do that. Let's see. Is there a way to know who is watching? Only through comments. If you look at the comments, you'll see who is watching. But you can't see the actual, like you can't see like a list of all the people that are watching your live streams. Let's see here. Quite do you have an assistant, or are you operating it alone? So I'm operating this alone. So basically, what I have is this box right here. This is called an ATEM Mini, and I was talking about this a minute ago. But basically, this ATEM Mini is the thing that switches my cameras. So it's called an ATEM Mini. Mine's actually the Pro ISO to where I can record into it as well if I want. But I have the different cameras, and I have an overhead camera that's just not plugged in right now too. But I have the different cameras all plugged into this via HDMI, and this box plugs into my computer via USB. And it reads as a webcam, but then all the switching actually happens within this device. And the cool thing about it, like I was showing earlier, is I can sit here, hands-free, and my feet aren't doing anything either, but I'm sitting here hands-free. And right here, in a certain amount of time, because we're on this front shot, we usually hang on this front shot for a while before it switches to something else. But basically, I'm just going to keep my hands up here, and I'll keep talking for a second, but then we'll move on to another comment, while I'm doing this. But basically, there's software that comes, there we go. There's software that comes with that ATEM Mini. And that software, you can set up macros to where it switches, per what it is that you tell it to do. So you basically set it up to where it's like this camera for this amount of time, pause for this amount of time, this camera for this amount of time, pause for this amount of time, this camera, and so on. You basically create the switching, and then you just hit play before your live stream, and then it'll just sit there and do everything for you. And then, of course, if you need to override it, you can by just, turning off the macro, while you're streaming, and then turning it back on, as soon as you want to get everything moving again. So thumbnails can, typically people get away with it on YouTube, but one of the things that, that is important to know as a YouTube content creator is that you can get copyright claims or copyright strikes off of a thumbnail. So if you go through the process of actually submitting takedown notices, DMCA takedown notices on YouTube, then one of the options that they have is this for the video or is this for the thumbnail? So because of that, the option is there that if somebody did want to issue a strike on your channel because you used their image without permission, or if I took a picture and then I saw it on your thumbnail and you didn't give me credit, or I didn't give you the permission or the rights to use it, or you didn't buy it from me, I can strike that. I can be like, hey, they use this without my permission. And they stole it from my website, and they can issue a copyright strike for your thumbnail. At this moment in time, the Stream Deck does not I mean, technically it does, but it's a thing that you have to like put together. I haven't done it. It's pretty complicated, but in the Facebook group, the StreamYard community Facebook group, which if you're a StreamYard user, you should be in there. There's actually people that have posted exactly how to do it. And they have like step-by-step things, copy and paste code that you can, add to your Stream Deck, stuff like that. But it's possible. But it's quite a thing that you have to go through to make it work. To my understanding, I think the integration is on its way. It's just not there yet. I want to include LinkedIn Live in my live streams, but I can't select it. I'd ask StreamYard, but it still isn't doable. I'm a higher tier customer, but can't multi-stream in LinkedIn. So is it because is live streaming enabled on your LinkedIn? Like, can you live stream to LinkedIn, just normally without it? If so, then you should be able to, directly connect it through. I would definitely hit up their support and go back and forth with them, which it seems like you already have. Go back and forth with them to try to get that worked out. Okay, how do you add background music in StreamYard? So the way that I do it is I have this box over here. It's called a Rodecaster Pro, and one of the channels coming through here, it will feed back through Rodecaster Pro and out into the stream. So I'll just open up a browser and I'll just, play like Epidemic Sound or something in the background. And by doing that, I have the volume turned down there, and then I can also control the volume here as well for that. And then it just feeds it right back through the stream. There's videos on the StreamYard YouTube channel about how to do that. Using software called, it's off the top of my head right now. It's Voicemeeter is what it is. But they show you how to do it with Voicemeter, to where it's all software based, and you basically reroute your audio to where it would come from like your browser, and then it would come in, as part of an audio source or an additional audio source in StreamYard. How much weight should be given to the comments for the replay? It depends on your show. If during your show, like the comments are part of the thing, like you're talking a lot to the people in your stream, then in that case, leaving the comments on there will help the replay viewers have some context of what's going on. If you're delivering just information, then in that case, the comments don't really add much unless you're directly interacting with the chat. If you're directly interacting with the chat, try to keep the chat available. If you're not directly interacting with the chat, then in that case, having the comments in there it doesn't matter, because then in that case, the only value that the replay viewers are getting is coming directly from the content itself. Let's see here. Yeah, so there's the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. That one is more expensive. And then there's the ATEM Mini, and the ATEM Mini, I believe, is right around like 400, like $300 or $400. I've got both, but I got the first one not knowing that they had a version that I could record with. And since I do have that clips channel, every now and then I'll record them directly here, but I also will make training content and things like that. And when I make training content, then since the Mini Pro ISO records all inputs, and it'll give you like, these are all the inputs from this, plus it records one that is the actual switched version where it's all, included. Basically what I'll do if I'm making training content is I'll record everything into here to where one input is actually a laptop with PowerPoint slides. And then I'll have, like a camera or two. And then what that does is that allows me to record everything into this box. And then when I go and I edit everything together, I've got everything that I need, because it's all been recorded. And then I just have to drop it in the editing software on top of each other. And then just go through and just cut through things really quick. And then, delete the things that the top layer, to where it would typically be the video in the top layer, delete where that isn't important. And then it just defaults to the slides from there. But a lot of really cool ways that you can use this depending on the type of content that you make. Let's see here. How do we add other people to be in the studio with us? In StreamYard, and let's see here. Let me do this. Oops. Let me stop this screen and let me share my StreamYard screen. So the dimensions on this are going to be a little bit weird. Here, I'll stretch it out for you real quick. There we go. So, pardon the hole that we just jumped into here, but all you have to do inside of StreamYard, I'm going to take your comment off of the screen just so you can see what it is I'm pointing to down here. But if you look down here at the very bottom, you see this invite option. If I click that, a little box is going to pop up. It's going to have a link to join the live stream. You just copy that link, paste it into like a messenger, or send it to an email to whoever it is that you want to come into your stream. And then they just click on that, and then they can come into your stream. It's pretty awesome, actually. Let's see here. The ATEM that I have is the Mini Pro ISO, but all of them will do the auto switching. All of them will take the 4 inputs. But the one that I have currently is the Mini Pro ISO. Foot Dr. Zach, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing awesome. Nice to see you in here. Let's see. Voice meter on PC. Loopback is the good way to get your audio routed through on a Mac. Thanks for that, Doug. Hey, I'm in Chiang Mai. Hope that you are doing awesome. Sawadee Ka. Let's see here. Thanks for skipping my question. I didn't see your question. Basically, what happens is every now and then, like as I'm scrolling through, it'll kind of kick the chat up. So let me go up here and see if I can find it here really quick. And oh, here we go. I liked your video when you showed how to record YouTube videos. Please do another one to show how you set up audio and clean the room noise for live streams if you don't have a Rodecaster Pro. Yeah, so the Rodecaster Pro, that's just like for the live stream. So when I'm doing video content, it actually comes through a shotgun microphone. And with that one, we always clean up the audio. I actually have, I think I have an audio processing video for my channel members. I know I've made one for the group, I believe for my channel member group. But I think I also have a video on my YouTube channel about processing the audio using Adobe Audition. We still use the same method that I've been using since I started my YouTube channel for the last 7 years. So, just look for like Nick Nimmin audio, and then you should, in YouTube search, and that video should show up for you. Let's see here. Crypto Today. Glad that you're enjoying it. You can, absolutely you can. So it's available on your mobile device as well. So one of the things that I'll do, like a lot of people don't realize this about Streamyard, but Streamyard, because they host everything in the cloud, basically what happens is like I have, because I'm in Thailand, which I just mentioned a minute ago. So since I'm in Thailand, like the infrastructure here isn't, what it is like back home. So because of that, like sometimes if I'm streaming, and this person here, they could also, vouch for this as well. But, like sometimes if it rains really hard, we'll get like power flickers or our internet will go down. So because of that, one of the awesome things about StreamYard is if my stream goes down, like in the house, then what I can do is I can actually join in, I'll join in Safari. And when I join in Safari, then I can actually keep the stream going. Like StreamYard holds the stream open in the cloud, and then I can just join in on my phone while everything is coming back on and I'm waiting for the internet to come on and things like that, which is cool. Bearded Dad says, what are the lights behind you? So these lights are Philips Hue lights. They're strips. But what I did is I went to the hardware store and I got lights that are, I got these fixtures that are made for the ceiling, but basically it's like a casing that goes around it. And then it has like a not fully see-through, but like an opaque cover on it. So I basically put the lights in there so that you didn't see the actual brightness of the bulbs themselves, but you would just see the glow, of the stems there. But that's what those lights are behind me. Now, if you're talking about like these, this is from a projector, so you can't see it, but up here I have a projector. And that projector is actually, beaming this stuff into the background here. So like I can change this. I've got a bunch of stuff that I do for my, for the live streams on my YouTube channel. Like, this thing that pops up when people join my, my channel membership. I have this one when people give me a super chat. It's like a heart thing. It says thanks in there. I've got this up here that reminds people to give this a thumbs up, which by the way, if you're enjoying this content, give me a thumbs up. I've got this one here to where if I'm doing like lightning rounds in my live stream, it's just like a countdown timer that happens to help me stay focused and answer questions quickly. And then I have this one to where we float through space. So this is like the spaceship view, right? So where we're just kind of floating through space. So let's see here. So we've got another person that knows Thai in here as well. There, look at that. So as we keep on going down the list here, I'll be tastic. I try to be anyway. So the software, so the ATEM Mini is the software that I use for this. You can get this at Central Festival. If you go to Zoom Camera at any of the Central Festivals, they have this ATEM Mini available. What you want to look for, it looks like this box right here. So I'm going to see if I can tilt this up a little bit, but it looks like that box right there. But it's called an ATEM Mini. This one's the Pro ISO. but the A10 Mini will do the trick for you as well. But at they'll have them. I'm not sure where you're located, but in Chiang Mai they have them at Central Festival. If you're in Bangkok, any of the decent malls there will have them available as well. But I know Zoom Camera is nationwide, so if you go into Zoom Camera, you should be able to find one there. I know Big Camera is starting to carry them as well. So either look for Big Camera, see if they have them. If they don't, then Zoom should have them. So it depends on what you're doing. So if you're, like making video content, and you are not wanting to see, your microphone, then in that case, just having like a shotgun mic, just a little bit out of frame. That's the approach that you want to take, because then there, you don't see it. It's just you talking to the person. For these, like this is great because it isolates the sound while I'm live. So I use this for podcasting and I use it when I'm live and for voiceovers too. But the reason that I have this is one, because it is, a dynamic mic. So like if I do this, then you can see the volume difference, right? When I just turn it away. So I've got like an air conditioner running here. I've got a computer, that's a little bit loud sometimes down here. So because of that, like this is just directly focused on me. Right. So that's why I use this when I'm streaming. But they all have their purposes, of course. Transferring video from iPhone to Windows, is it possible? Absolutely, it is. One thing that you can do is you can actually hook them up, via USB. That's what I do with mine, because I'm on an iPhone here, and then I have a PC there. I've got a Mac over there, but this one's a PC. So you absolutely can do it. If you can't get them in that way, then you can also share them directly through the Dropbox app, and you can just Dropbox it, up, and then, pull it back down once you're on your PC. Bearded IT Dad, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Love seeing those messages. It always makes you feel good. Even if you're having like a rough day, right? You see comments like that and you're like, yeah, you know what? Today's not so bad after all. So thank you. Let's see here. Try them. Keep saying third-party software. I'm not sure which thing that is referring to. So you're recording an instrument piano. What are the best settings to use? So inside of StreamYard, they have a option for stereo audio. So I would definitely choose that stereo audio so that people can just get the fullness of, music, because like when you're just streaming voice, it can go out in mono and it doesn't matter, right? It's like, hey, here's one channel, just run it down the middle, whatever, who cares? But when you are playing music, you definitely want to enable that stereo option, make sure that, your interface is actually porting that stereo signal through as well. Because, like, let's say you have a hi-hat come over, your hi-hat comes in over here, and then you want to have like your bass come in over here. And if you have it balanced that way in your mixer, then, you want it to be that way, experience for the viewer as well. So if you use that stereo feature, it'll help widen the actual sound that people are getting in the live streams. This mic is a SM7B, a Shure SM7B. This right here is an awesome mic. But I also used for a long time, when I first got my Rodecaster, I also used a Rode Pod mic. Great mic, especially if you have a Procaster. But the Rode Pod mic is good. I also use the Rode Procaster. We have another live streaming studio when my brother is in the country that we use. And in that studio, we use two, technically three when we have guests, but we use two Rodecasters over there. My pleasure. My pleasure. Let's see here. So what do the live stream health analytics mean? Low rates, poor connection, etc. What can you do about that when you are live? While you're live, that I'm aware of, there's not really much that you can do. Before you go live, if you test your internet connection and you find that like, hey, I'm pushing this out at a really low bit rate, then in that case, you would go in, you would adjust the bit rate. If you're using something else, StreamYard doesn't let you do that. So StreamYard is adjusting everything for you. Just optimizing it for the best possible stream. And then for them, if you are seeing something like that, it's just giving you the feedback, but I'm not even sure where you see that inside of StreamYard itself, because they're just pushing it out. But if you're looking in your YouTube settings and you notice a low bit rate there, then you can go and turn it up. If you notice that you have a really high bit rate, that can also, because it's pushing through a lot of information when you have a high bit rate, so that can actually cause your streams to be like jerky and all that if your internet connection itself doesn't support it. And Tolis, man, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be at Vid Summit? It's all right, man. I'm not there either, unfortunately, because of the situation that's going on in the world. I couldn't make it this year, unfortunately. Major FOMO right now. Let's see. Hey, Nick Hope, as well. I'm trying to at least a live stream only channel, but I'm wondering how could a live stream channel do well in a YouTube algorithm? Treated it the same as edited videos. Yeah. So what you want to do, I actually have some other live streams that I've done here on the Streamyard channel talking about that specific thing. Like if you're trying to grow as a live stream channel, the way that you stream needs to be extremely intentional. So for example, when you make a piece of video content, you say things like when people come into the video, hey, today we're talking about this, or hey, I'm going to show you this, or today we're going to this place, or, whatever the thing is. So it's real easy to grab people's attention and bring them along for the ride through your video content. In a live stream, when live streams go, people, will hop on a live stream and they'll do things like, hey, let's kind of wait a little bit until some people get in here, or, those kind of like lollygag. And when they lollygag, then that starts hurting the replay value of the stream. That's why, like when this stream started, I was like, in my brain, I noticed that I wasn't in the Streamyard channel. I noticed that we were a little bit slow in terms of the initial viewers pouring in here. So I was like, hey, I'm going to keep talking here while I'm checking this on the side, so that instead of stopping, being like, okay, here, hold on, everybody, let me check and make sure I'm in the right place, and then just going silent while I'm looking for it. I kept talking, stayed on topic, even though I kind of used a lot of fill space there and I said a bunch of stuff that really didn't matter, but it was just stuff that was just giving context to what's going on in the stream, what we're going to be talking about, all that. While over here, I'm sitting here and I'm like logging into their channel and I'm like looking, going to the live session, and I'm looking to make sure that everything's going out there okay and all that. But I still had a really strong focus to make sure that, I'm keeping everything on point, and I'm trying to keep for the replay people, right? Because there weren't a lot of people in here yet. So for the people that are going to be coming in on the replay, I just wanted to make sure that they had something to keep them entertained while I was going through that process on my end, right? So when you are live streaming for the sake of growing the channel, then in that case, you want to make sure that one, you're packaging everything in terms of topic, title, and thumbnail in the right way that's going to grab attention and pull people in. Two, you do not want to use any countdown timers, anything like that. As soon as you're ready to go, and as soon as your stream is live, start your content. And when you start your content, put a hook in there. And by hook, I mean, tell your viewers what they're going to be getting in the stream. Tell them why they should be participating in the stream. Tell them what it is that you're going to be trying to accomplish. Give them a reason that they should stick around for the live stream, right? So that when they come in on the replay, right out of the gate, as soon as they click on that replay, you're like, hey, today we're going to be, today I'm going to be taking you through this particular part of the game. I'm going to be trying to do this, blah, blah, blah. And you just let people know what's going on while people are going to be coming into the stream, right? And it's good practice throughout the stream, or at least a little bit, once you, a few minutes once the stream started and you start noticing like, hey, we got some people in here, to just give a quick recap of what it is that you're doing in the stream. That way, those people that are just coming in, you bring them up to date on like, hey, this is what's going on, just to kind of reinforce what it is that you said in the title and thumbnail. It's going great. Thanks for swinging by. Cyber Nation says, Nick, I recently did a reaction video on my channel that went insane. Now I got a bunch of subs that want more reactions. My channel is mainly gaming content. What should I do? So this is an interesting predicament that you're in. And it's an interesting predicament because when it comes to YouTube, one of the things that YouTube recommends is like, if you don't know what to publish, and you start like to just start publishing content. And the reason they say that is because, well, here's what they say specifically. If you're starting a YouTube channel, you don't know what to make videos about, but you want to make videos, start publishing videos about the things, and this is a really important part, about the things that you really love and enjoy. And when you notice one video does exceptionally better than another video, then start making more videos like that. And the reason that they're saying all this is because, one, when you're just putting up random content, you want to make sure that you're putting up content. And like in your case, this is where I'm getting to with this. If you are putting up random content, you have to make sure that that content is something that you're willing to commit to in the event that what's happening to you ends up happening. And the reason for that is because, like, you have a gaming channel, you did a reaction, the reaction popped where the gaming stuff didn't, which means that YouTube found the right audience for that content right away. And that particular audience responded very well to what it is that you put out. So what that means is YouTube tells us the algorithm follows the audience, which means that if people are responding to that content, then YouTube is going to show more. They're going to show that content and other content that you make like it to the people that are responding to it, or that are likely to respond to it based on how they're interacting with YouTube, watching other reaction videos and things like that. So because of that, in your case specifically, you definitely want to do another reaction video and see if you get a similar response. If you do, and it keeps being positive, you might want to consider walking in that direction, as long as that content is in alignment with the goals that you have for your YouTube channel. If it's not, then you shouldn't have published it on your main channel. But as long as the content is in alignment with what it is that you're ultimately trying to accomplish with your YouTube channel, and this is a really important part, like if your YouTube channel isn't like, hey, I just want to get views and subscribers, if you're intentionally trying to do something, trying to make a specific type of impact, or you're trying to do a specific thing with your channel, then in that case, if that content isn't the right fit for it, then you might not want to go that way. But if you're like, hey, I'm just trying to grow the channel, I just want views, like, I don't care. I just want, views and subscribers, and then I'll figure it out down the road. Once I start getting some like ad money coming in off of this better results that I'm getting, then in that case, then, walk in the direction of the reaction content on my channel. Just to give you some context here. So when I started my YouTube channel, I had some videos about like coming up with video ideas, channel ideas, how to overcome camera shyness, all that stuff, which is stuff that I was going through at the time. So I was making content about that, but I wasn't teaching people about, like how to grow on YouTube, because I didn't know how to do that yet. So because of that, it wasn't even in my mind to make that type of content. But instead, I was making content like, how to come up with video ideas, channel ideas, how to overcome camera shyness. But I was also making content like how to stay focused when you're working at a coffee shop, how to stay productive in general, how to stay motivated, how to name your projects, things like that, because all of those were things that were, in my life at the time. What happened is, I made a video on SEO, search engine optimization for YouTube, because that's what I was using to get views at the time. So because of that, I was like, hey, let me share this with people, see how they like this. And I did, and people loved it. And they're in the comments, they're like, hey, can you make some more videos like this? This is great. So I was like, okay, they like this one, so let me make another one. And I started making more videos like that, and people started, really enjoying, that content, responding well to it. So I, the algorithm follows the audience. So I was like, hey, people are enjoying this. This is the direction that I'm going to walk in. And then now, I'm here on the Streamyard channel, talking to you about YouTube. So I would definitely consider embracing that reaction content. Let's see here. I'll do the due diligence. Yep. My pleasure. My pleasure. Is there a free to use StreamYard? So they have a trial. I think you can get 30 days for free, I believe, or maybe limited features for free. Maybe you might not be able to multicast, but you might be able to go to one platform. I can't remember off the top of my head because it changes sometimes. But they do have, a free version of it. I'm just not 100% sure on what the limitations of the free version are, but I do know that you can try it free for, I think it's 30 days. All right. So it looks like that got us taken care of on the question side of things. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out during the live stream today. I hope that you got some type of value out of this. If you have not yet, you can try StreamYard at streamyard.com. You can give it a shot for free. It's an amazing piece of software or app, I should say. But I use this for my live streams. It's absolutely incredible. It saved me so many times just with power outages and things like that, since they host everything in the cloud. My computer, I have this beast of computer for video editing, but it has to hardly lift a finger because StreamYard is doing all the processing. It's managing all of the stuff for the stream. So because of that, my computer doesn't even have to hardly work. The reason that my computer works is because in terms of the things that it does have to process, it's because of the hardware that I'm using, right? But the streaming software itself, it causes no impact. So even if your computer sucks, you can still use StreamYard to get great streams. So, because of that, definitely give StreamYard a shot. And if you are not familiar with me, my name is Nick. I teach people about YouTube. So if you are curious about, growing your YouTube channel or the tools and resources and information that you need for your channel, definitely head over to my channel. If you just look for Nick Nimmin on YouTube, then you'll end up finding my YouTube channels or all of my YouTube channels. So because of that, definitely check me out as well. And thank you to the StreamYard team for letting me come on here and share this information, with everybody as well. I super appreciate that. And everybody have a great, rest of your week. And, I hope that your next stream is awesome. And I will see you next time. Typically, if this was my stream, I'd have music playing right now, but I'm not 100% sure if they have an epidemic sound account or not. So I'm not going to do that right now, but I will turn the mic down as I go. Make sure you like this stream on the way out, by the way. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week.